Hello again everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I am filming the 5th and final update video on my Spirit Halloween Zombie Baby collection. If you are new to my channel or have not watched any of my previous Zombie Baby collection videos, the links for all of them will be in the description below. But basically I have been working towards a goal this year to try and collect every single Zombie Baby prop ever released and sold by Spirit Halloween, and today is the day I can finally say that I have done it. In front of me here, these were the last 5 zombie babies that I needed to officially complete my collection. However, in addition to these final 5 babies, I also have one admittedly very late arrival to my collection, and that is this baby right here. If you watched my last collection update video, when I was mentioning which babies I did have left to try and find, I also briefly mentioned that I had one of the new 2021 zombie babies on pre-order that I was simply waiting to be shipped and delivered. Initially, he was supposed to arrive in time for when I filmed my last update video, and so I had originally planned for him to be a part of that video. However, due to the shipping delays that have been impacting Spirit and a lot of other retailers this season, sadly his delivery date did get pushed back quite a bit, so he did not end up arriving in time for that. However, he did end up finally arriving just this afternoon, in fact, so I am happy he is finally here, and while he may not have gotten his chance to be a part of my last update video, he will be joining the other final 5 zombie babies in today's video. So he can go right there. With this final batch of babies, this means that my collection now stands at a final, current grand total of 74 babies, which is a lot more than I initially thought there were when I got back into collecting earlier this year. But I am honestly so happy to have finally been able to find every single one of them. I've been really working towards this for a long time and hoping that I would be able to get it done by Halloween this year. That was kind of my goal, and I thought it might be a bit ambitious, but as it turned out, I did finally manage to do it. So, without any further ado here, let's see which final babies we have here today. So starting us off back here is Mischievous Mandy. Mischievous Mandy is a 2021 zombie baby. She is depicted as a pale-skinned little girl with brown hair pulled up into 2 buns on top of her head and wearing a tattered pink and kind of grayish blue outfit. When I first saw this baby, I had kind of a rush of many emotions. The first big one being excitement, because we have not had any female zombie babies since Deadblocks all the way back in 2016. So it's been a long time coming since we had any, little girl zombie babies. So I was very excited for that. The other thing that I thought initially when I saw her is that she wasn't really that scary. And I have to say, out of all of the 2021 zombie babies, I would say she's probably the least scary, to me at least, but that does not mean in any way that she is bad. I still very much like her. In fact, I would say that when I first saw her in person at my local stores when I picked her up, I actually grew to love her a lot more. I think her online pictures do not do her enough justice in showing off all of the really good detail she has. The veins on her body, the tatters in her clothing, all of that, including her really creepy blood red eyes there, are really much more noticeable when you see her in person, and I think that elevated her in my eyes quite a bit than when I first initially saw her on Spirit's website. So she has really grown to be one that I really do enjoy, and I highly recommend her if you are a fan of the zombie babies. Next to her here, we then have Ronnie the Rebel. Ronnie the Rebel is another 2021 zombie baby, and in my opinion, he is the best of the 2021 zombie babies. In my opinion, he looks like he is straight out of the 2010-2011 era of zombie babies, what a lot of people would consider like the classic zombie babies. Everything about him, the detail, the paint work on him is just so spot on. He is depicted as a gray-skinned child, as you can see, with black eyes, with little white pupils, a smiling mouth of sharp teeth, a gray diaper, and a body covered in snakes. Honestly, the snakes are probably my favorite thing about him, and what I especially love, and I'll turn him around so you can see it, is the detail work on these snakes themselves. All of the individual scales are visible and not just painted on, they are actually molded on, and you can feel them if you run your finger across his body. That is just amazing to me. I know they could have just painted them a solid color and, you know, maybe just sketched on a couple of scales, but the fact that they went all the way to actually give them the full scaled bodies, as well as all of the other detail on him, his face, his teeth, everything about him is just really, really good. I will also say that I love this new material that they're making the babies out of recently. It's kind of a harder foam material compared to the much thinner latex of the older babies. As such, you know, he is much more solid, and I think the durability will help him last a lot longer. And I also noticed that even more recent babies, like Spider Biter Billy and Snack and Steve, that were originally released with much squishier bodies, have been re-released this year made out of this same harder material. So I think that is a change that is very welcome for the zombie babies, and I really appreciate the effort that went into creating this guy right here. He is definitely my favorite 2021 zombie baby, and one that I would highly recommend you get if you see him around. Next up here we then have Ravenous Ruby. Ronnie the Rebel may be my favorite for 2021, but Ravenous Ruby was definitely a very close second. Once again, another girl zombie baby. Really, really love that. She is depicted as a pale-skinned child. She almost has purple skin when you see her. It's kind of a pale white purpley color, with short blonde hair kind of pulled up with a little pink bow and a pink outfit. She has really creepy black and red eyes that I'll get to in a minute because I love those, and a body covered in cockroaches, one of which she is apparently eating. Again, the detail on her I think is just spectacular, and I do want to talk specifically about her eyes, and I'm not sure if my camera can pick it up well enough. These new eye designs that I started seeing, I believe, with Spider Biter Billy back in 2019, I'm really, really liking. They are basically like plastic eyes that then have kind of a printed image behind it of a really detailed eye that has all the wetness, the detail in the iris and the pupil, and it really, layered behind that plastic, really gives it a much more lifelike kind of look that really makes these props look more alive. And I just love that. In addition, I also love that the cockroaches on her, similar again to Spider Biter Billy, are actual little plastic pieces that are stuck to her body and not just, you know, painted on or sculpted on. That, I think, is another really great detail that I'm glad they went with. And it seems like these new zombie babies for 2021, they really went all out on. And because we have not gotten this many new zombie babies for a very long time. We might only get like 1 or 2 at the most per season lately, but to get 4 this year was a really big surprise, and really gives me hope that they might be trying to revamp the zombie baby series and kind of bring them back more into the spotlight, which I am of course all for. So overall, I think she is another wonderful prop, definitely one to try and pick up if you see her. She is honestly just amazing. Next up here we have our bonus baby here today, and that is Swaddled Up Silas. Or, if you look at his tag when you see him in stores, Swaddled Simon. Apparently he has 2 names, one in stores and one on Spirit's website. I don't know why. However, I consider Silas to be a bit more of a creepy name, so that is what I will continue to call him. He is, of course, depicted as a pale little kind of gray-skinned baby, wrapped up in a blue blanket with only his head and hands visible. He has slicked black hair, a grinning mouth, and some solid black eyes. This was the first zombie baby that was released for 2021, and as such was available for pre-order all the way back in July. That is actually when I originally pre-ordered him, but again, due to the shipping delays, he did not end up shipping out till a very, very, very long time later. Actually, like late September, early October is when I got the notice that he had shipped. And I'll let you in on a little secret here. This is not the same baby I ordered. My original shipment was actually lost in transit and refunded. So I ended up finding this guy through Amazon because I did see that Spirit, I believe, is using Amazon to try and get some of their props out quickly this year due again to the aforementioned shipping delays. So that is where he came from, but overall I'm just happy to finally have him after such a long wait. I'm sorry the original didn't get here, but I'm just happy I was able to get him overall. He is a very cool prop. I think this overall design of a baby wrapped in a blanket is very unique. It's definitely a new look for the zombie babies and one that we haven't seen before. And I think it was really clever, despite it just being a head and hands, that it's still a very, very cool prop. And I think, again, the detail work on him is great. You can see he has some creepy veins drawn on his face. He has this really sinister looking smile on his face. It's just really, really good. So overall, I am very happy with him. And if you see him around, I can't recommend him enough, honestly. He is just so cool. And finally, the last two zombie babies in my collection that I needed are these final two puppet babies. This one is the cute zombie baby puppet, if you want to call that face cute, wrapped in this light green blanket, and the alien baby puppet, which is this one in the blue blanket. Both of them do the same thing like all of the other puppet babies, where you basically cradle the baby in one arm to look like you're carrying it, while your other arm goes into the body to puppeteer the head and hands and make it look like the prop is alive. I love these things. I didn't really like them when they first came out. I don't know how other people felt about them because they were quite a different approach than, say, the normal zombie baby props. And so I don't know how well they sold. I, however, upon seeing them now in person and having them all, I have really grown to love these things. I do use them. They are made of plastic, actually, so not the same kind of rubber material as the rest of the babies. So they are definitely a lot more durable and can contain a lot more wear and usage than maybe some of the other ones. So they are very cool, and if you do see them around, they are kind of rare and hard to find. I definitely recommend you get them. So that is the last group of zombie babies in my zombie baby collection. Again, with this batch, I will now have officially collected every single zombie baby prop ever released and sold by Spirit Halloween. I am so happy that I was finally able to complete this goal. I've wanted to do this for so long, but you know, finding them is definitely tricky, especially in good condition, good working condition for some of them, at decent prices. You have to just look everywhere for them. If you are a fellow zombie baby collector and would maybe potentially want to try and have a full collection like this, don't give up on it if it seems hopeless. Just always search around every site you can think of. I have searched everywhere from eBay, Mercari, Facebook Marketplace, Poshmark, OfferUp, any kind of online site. I guarantee you they will show up one way or another, and sometimes at ridiculously cheap prices. So that is my advice if you are a collector of these. I guarantee you can too definitely get a full collection. So thank you all very much for watching. I will be posting a full collection showcase video shortly after this one goes out, so you can see all of the babies together, and I very much look forward to seeing what new babies Spirit may choose to release in the future so that I can continue to grow my collection further. So until next time, everyone, I will see you later.